everybody, this is Leanna, and today I'm really excited. I'm featuring one of my favorite products. I know I say that about them all, but this one I use a lot, and that's the custom cutting system. So let me go ahead and highlight my desktop so that you can see what we're working with here. So for the Creative Memories custom cutting system, it actually has three major parts. So you've got the 13 by 13 mat, which I love. I use this for everything, for cutting. I often just put my 12 by 12 pages on it, and they fit right inside this frame, and you can still see the ruler measurements down the side. So it helps me be accurate and know if I'm placing my borders and other things in the right place. So again, this is my workspace. I use it every single time for every single thing. So you've got your cutting mat. Now, you do absolutely need to have a cutting mat to use a custom cutting system. And then you have the blades, and there are three blades that come: red, blue, and green. And if you look at these, so they come housed like this, so the blade is inside and it protects it. And to use it, you just pull that little cap off, flip it over, and put it back in there. So that's your handle. And then you'll see that you have actually a little yellow blade, and then you've got these two runners or little nubs there. And those will help you cut around the different templates. So you've got the red blade, but you can see that the blade is quite close to those little nubs. And then with the blue blade, this is actually the biggest blade that we have. And so you can see actually how much farther the blade is away. Why don't I turn them the same way from the little nubs? So that cuts farther away from the template. And then the green one is kind of in the middle. So you have three different distances that you can cut away from a template using these different blades. So it just depends on which blade that you're using. And then you have a series of templates. So you buy these, some of them come in multiples. So you have the circle templates. And so you can see that for each template, you have a track on the outside and on the inside. And those little nubs from the blade actually just fit right in the track. And then you can run it around. And again, you can either run it around and cut on the outside, or you can run it around and cut on the inside. So this allows you to make tons of different sizes of, in this case, circles. So we've got the circle template, we've got the triangle templates, and the square comes with a square. So there are three pieces to this. You get those. You've got the ovals, and the ovals actually come with 4 templates. So different sizes, and again, you got both the inside and the outside. So this one, you know, again, for each template, you get 6 different sizes. The red, blue, green blade on the outside, red, blue, green blade on the inside. And then the final template set that we have right now is called Gemstone, and you have this nice triangle, and then you have a heart with kind of a, I don't know, egg-shaped thing, and then you've got a heart with another shape in the middle. So all different things that you can use with your blades on your cutting mat. So, oh, and I forgot there's one other template, and that is actually the jumbo circle. And so with this, you could cut a huge circle, or you could cut both on the outside and the inside and make a big round frame, which would be nice on a 12 by 12 page. So those are your different templates. And so then what you're going to do to actually use this, you can cut it paper, you can cut other things. I love cutting photos out. I love using the circles and the ovals, particularly on my photos. And so with this one, I want to really focus and get rid of these corners and kind of just make more of the focus on that's me, and I'm reading to this adorable little girl at a orphanage in South Sudan where I used to volunteer. So you could actually, if you see here, you can just see her. You could just decide to cut inside and really just focus on her, but I want the whole photo out. So what you do is you just get your template placed exactly where you're going to want it. And then you take your blade and you're going to place these 2 nubs. And I'm using the outside. So I place them in the outside track with the blade just outside. So that goes in. You want to always make sure that you've got your 2 tracks in. You want to hold down really well, and then you're going to press on this, and you're going to run it all the way around the photo. right? And usually what I want to do, I might run it around twice, and then I'll jiggle while that one came up and make sure that you fully cut it off before you move the template, just in case you might need to run it around a second time. So here you go. I've got this picture cut out in an oval. Now, the nice thing about having these different size blades is that you can make mats. So if I just take the exact same size template, and let me set my photo down over here, and the next size up, the green blade, I'm going to be able to cut out a really nice mat for my photo. So again, you want to make sure if you place this now, when you're cutting, don't just stick it in the middle of the page because you end up like using a whole piece of paper. So you want to get your template as far to the side of your paper as you can. Usually I like to just make sure that those are in and set it down. And then you just want to kind of check and make sure that you're going to actually not run and cut off the edge of the paper. I need to move that just up. Okay, so I've got it in, and again, I'm holding this down firmly in place, and then I'm just running my blade around. Oop, and I felt like I jumped, so you can always go back if you feel like you kind of skip a piece or an area. Okay, and again, before I move that template, I'm just going to lift up my paper. Okay, and I did get that fully cut. So again, I used the same template, but the red blade on the photo and then the green blade on this, and you'll see that it just makes a perfect mat for my photo. That's super nice. And if you wanted to do a double mat, then you could take the blue blade, which cuts the furthest, and get another piece of paper. So I'm going to take a blue piece of paper and use the blade that goes the farthest from the template. So again, this big blade with the nubs furthest out, and I'm going to put those, make sure that they're in your track, and make sure that your template is far enough away from the edge, especially with the blue and green, because you cut a little bit further away from the template. Just remember to hold that template firmly in place. And I think I cut all the way around, but I'm going to test. Yep. And there you have it. So we've just done now, using the same template, but the 3 different size blades, we've done a double mat and cut this photo into an oval. So that's really super nice. And then this cute little picture of this boy that I love, but again, there's kind of a lot of clutter, and I really just wanted to focus on his face. So I might just place my circle over and see, is this about the size? Yeah, that actually is just perfect. I think if we go here, and I would probably use the red blade closest to the inside. So again, I'm gonna just make sure I have those in the track. Press down. Run that around. And now I just have this adorable picture, and I've got all that clutter out of the photo, and it just really focuses on that little boy. So these would make really nice design elements on your page. Another really great feature that you can use with this, and I'm going to do this with the circle template, but I'm going to put a circle template down. We go down here, so we save that half a page, and I'm going to actually cut first on the outside, and I'm going to use my biggest blade. So that would be the blue blade. So let me make sure I have it in the tracks. Okay, and I'm just going to run around. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to not move my fingers. I'm going to keep pressing on that template, and I'm going to take this green blade, which is just slightly smaller. Make sure that you have both of those in the tracks, and then I'm going to run around. Okay, so I've cut with that, and now what I'm going to do is take my red blade, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make sure I have those both in the track. And then, oops, that was not in the track. I could feel that right away. And then I'm just going to run around with my red blade. What I've just done is created a number of concentric circles, I guess you could call them, of different sizes. So you see how these kind of fit together, but it allows you to do these nice little frames. You could use that circle as a mat for something. So you can do that with all of the templates. You can use the different size blades to make, cut out thin little frames, bigger frames, different size mats, circles. So all sorts of great stuff you can do with this. I just love this custom cutting system. And then I did want to just show you, this is my wedding album. A few of the pages, well, didn't do any circles there, but that's Richard and I. So you can see the element here. So I used those blades to cut out some smaller circles. I thought made it look like wedding rings, at least to me. And then, sorry, I'm going kind of fast here because I wanted to get to some of the pages. So you see here, I did the kind of portrait of us that I cut using the oval cutter and then use the slightly bigger blade to do the matting on the back. So it makes it look really nice. It's just such a great element. I used a star template here to cut out and turn that into a journal card. And then as you go through, so on this page, you'll see I have I used this oval cutter there, a circle cutter here, to make sure I had pictures of everybody. I used the oval cutter here for the pictures of our cakes. And then I used the center, that kind of egg-shaped one that was in the middle of one of the hearts and made it look like a strawberry. So I just hand cut that little green element out. So you can just see here too that I used the circles, all different sizes, cutting them out, little frames and different things as just a design element on the page. And this was the page for our sisters giving toasts during our wedding. Just another example of cutting things out. I didn't even mat these ones. I just cut the pictures out with the circles, and it really, really does add a nice design element to your page.